Hi everyone, it is April. I wanted to come on here and give a little life update. I've been not quite MIA on YouTube, like I've definitely been posting once a week, but I've not been as regularly present, I should say, as I usually am. The main reason is that we've been really busy at the fertility clinic in November and December. And we went ahead and did an embryo transfer and it failed. It didn't work. And I recently found out that it didn't work. So I just kind of wanted to give a little chat about that experience and what that means for my family going forward, and what our plans are. So, you guys know I've been so open on this channel, and if you're new to my channel, maybe you haven't seen some of it, but I've been in the past in old videos really open about my infertility experience. Barry and I started trying to conceive like just before our wedding, and we just celebrated our 6-year wedding anniversary yesterday, which was nice. But we've been trying to conceive for a really long time, and we ended up going to the fertility clinic and we did IUI. We were trying normally, and then we did a round of IUI. That didn't work. I did get pregnant naturally one time, which was very exciting. Sadly, we miscarried. I had a miscarriage, which rocked me to my core, because all I had wanted was to have baby. And you guys have been there for me through that and have supported me through that. And I thank you guys so much for all of your support. It's really actually meant so much. And so many people coming forward in the comments, and then also like separately in emails and what have you, just to say their own experience and connect with infertility and also miscarriage. And it just means a lot. Sometimes you don't want to be a part of a club like the infertility club or the miscarriage club, but nobody wants to be a part of it. But there is some solace in the understanding of what it feels like. Yeah, we had a miscarriage, and then we went ahead and did IVF. Through IVF, they were able to freeze one embryo, and then they put the other embryo inside of me at that time, and that was Nora. And Nora came into this world and healed my heart in such an amazing way. And after Nora was born, I wasn't ready to do the transfer. We took some time. COVID hit, like a lot was going on, and I needed to just take some time to be ready, because when I wanted to do the embryo transfer, I wanted my whole heart to be open to receiving it if it was going to work. And it did take some time. Like I hats off to people who are able to have a baby and then ready for another one. Like, it was just a challenge for me, like the no sleeping. Maybe I need some sleep. We finally were ready, kind of mid-year. We had to do all sorts of testing. I had to do testing in between pregnancies. They always make you do all of these tests, like a blood test, day 3 blood test, day 21 blood test, an ultrasound where they put saline solution through your tubes just to see that everything's looking good. So we had to do all of that, and then we had to wait for our turn to do the embryo transfer. And our turn came up, and it was going to be end of November. So I went ahead and got all of the drugs that I needed. We decided to do a medicated cycle. You can do unmedicated cycles. My best friend did an unmedicated cycle when she did an embryo transfer, and little Finn is in this world alive and well. So they apparently work completely equally. But they did say that my lining, when they did the ultrasound, wasn't like perfect. So I just decided that, you know what, I'd like to give this embryo the best shot ever. So I did a medicated cycle, which meant that I had little estrogen pills that I put inside 3 times a day for, I don't even know how long it was. It felt like forever, like a month. Anyway, so I was doing that. And then as the embryo transfer date got closer, I started doing progesterone shots. Now, I've never done these before. They're not fun, okay? They're in the butt. That can hurt. They're like on your butt cheek. And Barry had to do the shots, and he got too much pleasure from it. What this means for us, I'm not sure, but so he did that. And as we got closer to the date, I went for an ultrasound. They made sure like the lining's looking good, like everything's good. Okay, it's time. So my embryo transfer day was November 29th. And the actual time for the transfer was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is a long time to wait. I was so nervous the whole day because it is a frozen embryo. So they have to take it out of the freezer, and you have to hope that it's going to thaw out and live through the thaw. And it did. And it was nearly hatching at that time. If you're familiar with IVF, you'll know all of these things, what the blastocyst is doing and everything. So it survived, and it was so exciting. Like, I literally had my phone with me everywhere. Like, anywhere I went, I had my phone, because I knew that if it didn't survive the thaw, they were going to be calling me to let me know, I'm sorry, it didn't survive. So the entire day I like wrapped furiously. I think I wrapped all of my Christmas presents that I needed to. Definitely got all of Barry's done, which felt good. And it felt good to just distract myself a little bit. And then we went in at 3 p.m. on November 29th, and the embryo transfer was incredible. Like, everything was perfect. It went perfectly. And I'll put up a little picture of the embryo itself. We didn't get to see that with Nora. I think that's like a new thing that they've provided. It was super, super interesting. And I watched it be shot through into my uterus. And then it was just a waiting game. And I'm bad at waiting. And I started testing 4 days after the embryo transfer, and it was negative. Now, that is very early to start testing, like probably not the greatest idea. Day 5, it was negative. Day 6 days after the transfer, is when I got my first positive with Nora. And in this case, it was negative. And that was the day that I felt like it wasn't going to work. You know, every embryo is different, and some embryos take more time than others to, you know, release HCG and all of those things, to embed and plant into the uterine lining. Like, it really is kind of up in the air. But that was the day that I was like, okay, this probably didn't work. And I was kind of losing my mind. So I decided to like wait a couple of days to test again. And on 8 days past transfer, it was negative, and I just knew that it didn't work. Like, everything was indicating that. And that was really hard in that time. I did a lot of crying in bed. Like, I'd go and take the test at like an obscene, like too early in the morning, like 5:30 in the morning, and then get into bed and just cry. And I just mourned it not working. And I knew that I had to wait for the blood test. You go into the fertility clinic to do a blood test after all is said and done, and they test your levels. And we got word on December 10th. I went in for my blood test. They called me a little later that day and told me that it was negative. But I already knew that it was going to be negative. Like, that was not a surprise in any way, shape, or form. yeah, it was interesting because on that day, December 10th, I went to the fertility clinic for the last time, did the last blood test at the clinic, and I was leaving and I was like, I'm never coming back here. Like, this is the last time. And when you're trying to conceive through, science, you spend a lot of time at the clinic. And so it was really surreal. I ended up driving to my grandparents' house that they lived in when I was little, and we used to go over every Sunday. And those places, and everyone's different, but many people who are lucky enough have a place that feels like home. I just parked outside of their home and just bawled. Like, I haven't cried that hard in a long time. And I was checking in with myself as I was doing it, and I was like, am I mourning and not working? And I realized I had already done that. Like, I had already done that mourning. And now I was not mourning, actually. I was releasing this chapter in my life of trying to conceive. It was not like a relief, but a release. Because it's been our entire marriage. And that's a really long time it's a really long time to be struggling to conceive. And infertility and miscarriage has been the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life. I very much have had like a good life, sheltered life. Like, I've been very, very blessed in that way and very lucky in that way. This was the hardest thing I would say that I've gone through for myself. And I was just releasing it, and, got home, waited for the call, and it was negative. So sorry, I'm just literally rambling. I don't have notes or anything, so I'm just sharing what's on my heart. So, a lot of people might be asking, like, what does this mean for you, for your family? Are you going to try again? Are you going to try naturally? Are you going to do IVF? Are you going to adopt? Like, what is your plan? And the plan is we're going to be a family of 3. We are a lovely little family of 3. It works really well. I love Nora. She literally healed my heart so much. And yeah, we're complete. This is it. We would have very much welcomed this little embryo if it had survived. But it didn't. And I actually asked when they called me to let me know it was negative. I asked, did it not embed, or was there something like chromosomally wrong with it? And she said, no, it just doesn't embed. And these things happen. Like, I think a lot of people think, I'm not saying that you do, but I just think a lot of people believe if you do IVF, it's like guaranteed to work. But it really isn't. It's very much like a 50-50 thing. And we had 2, one of them worked, one of them didn't. And that's 50-50. You just don't know. And a lot of people, might have gotten, like, not technically pregnant really because it didn't embed, but like might have formed a little embryo in trying to conceive naturally, and it just doesn't stick to the wall. And yeah, my uterine lining was fantastic. It just didn't happen, and it's nobody's fault. It just didn't work. So we're gonna be a little family of 3. I think it says a lot that I bawled so much about the relief. When something hard is over, yeah, I'm not interested in diving back into that. I'm 40 with low ovarian reserve. So like, I just don't, I for myself have no interest in doing IVF again. Trying naturally again as well, no interest. Like, I just want to enjoy my relationship with my husband and not have this. I don't want to pee on sticks. anymore looking for when I'm going to be ovulating. I don't want to do any of that. I'm ready to just live my life. And my dad yesterday asked, like, are you guys thinking about adopting? And I was like, no. Like, I think adopting is absolutely incredible. Very complex journey. I remember starting to look into that before IVF because I didn't think that IVF was going to work at that time. And I was trying to just do some research, and that can be a really hard process as well. And it's, we already ran a marathon, and I'm not ready to run another marathon, and I will never be ready to run another marathon. So we're going to be a family of 3. I just ordered a book called One and Only, and it's a whole book about only children and the benefits of having just one, and also the worries that they might have. Barry's an only child, and so I could probably ask him, but I just think that it would be really interesting for me to learn more about that. So all that to say, I feel like I've rambled enough. We're going to be a little family of 3. I am very much at peace with it. Peace was the word that kept coming up over and over and over again in my mind before the transfer, you know, even during the wait, after finding out it was negative. Like, I have peace surrounding all of this, and it is an incredible thing to feel. I really love our little family, and yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on. It's been really busy, very emotional. Before that, I was sick. Like, it's just been absolute insanity in my life. So that's why I haven't been really invested. Like, my brain and my mind could only really encompass that, and also my parents getting a dog, which that didn't pan out, by the way. The breeders was not able to give them a dog. Anyway, that was its own little chapter of sadness. But yeah, I do want to thank you guys so very much for all of your support through these years, and like cheering me on when I did get pregnant with Nora, and like being there for me when I had the miscarriage. And I just have felt that love from you guys. And I know some of you have gone through some really hard stuff with trying to conceive, and just sending you all lots of love. Hope you guys are doing well. I hope you didn't mind the ramble, because there really was one. Sometimes I feel like I should have just gotten some notes and just written some stuff, but it's just all from the heart. I hope you guys are doing well. From my little family of 3 to your family, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Happy holidays, and I will chat with you very soon. Bye, guys.